The movie begins with two young girls, Sarah and Linda, finding an old Polaroid camera that belonged to Sarah's recently deceased mother. They take a picture with it and notice a shadowy figure in the background of the photo. Linda leaves and Sarah goes upstairs to close the door, but hears the camera winding up on its own. She sees the shadowy figure in the photo and becomes anxious. The lights go out and strange noises come from the hallway. As Sarah investigates, a ball bounces down from the attic, scaring her. She climbs up to check the attic, but the ladder falls, trapping her. In the dark attic, she hears raspy breathing and sees an inhuman hand. Terrified, she falls back through the attic opening but is snatched up by an unseen force before being dropped back down, lifeless. If you are enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. The movie fast forwards to a high school picture day where we meet Bird, nicknamed Scarf Girl. She has a crush on Connor and snaps a picture of him before rushing to her job at an antique shop. There, her friend Tyler gives her an old Polaroid camera. Bird takes a picture of Tyler, but a shadowy figure appears in the background. Tyler tries to kiss Bird, but she awkwardly pulls away and leaves. At home, Bird discovers initials RJS on the camera. She tries to take a picture of her dog, but he avoids it. Her best friend Casey convinces her to attend a costume party where Connor will be. Bird reluctantly agrees and joins Casey, Devin, and Mina. During the drive, Bird notices a shadow in Tyler's photo but dismisses it. Meanwhile, at the antique shop, Tyler finds old picture slides and sets up a projector. He notices a shadow moving between the photos. Thinking someone is behind the projector curtain, he swings a hammer, but hits nothing. Suddenly, a sheet with a person-shaped form rushes at him, leaving Tyler terrified. Meanwhile, Bird and her friends arrive at a costume party hosted by Avery. Bird feels uneasy but follows Mina into the kitchen to greet Avery, who hands out tarot cards to each guest. Bird draws the death card, which unsettles her even more. Later, while Bird is alone in a corner, she notices a guy in a skeleton mask staring at her. She tries to escape upstairs but bumps into the guy, who turns out to be Connor without his mask. Connor asks about the picture she took earlier, but Bird lies, saying it was just a camera test. They introduce themselves, with Connor complimenting Bird on her unique name. He notices the Polaroid camera in her bag and asks about it. Bird takes out the camera, and they share a bonding moment over it. Mina and Devin interrupt their conversation, pulling Connor for a picture. Bird offers to take it with her Polaroid, and just as she snaps the photo, Casey photobombs, and the dark shadow reappears behind Connor. During this, Avery arrives, offended they took a picture without her, and takes a selfie with Bird, scoffing when the photo develops strangely. They're interrupted by someone shouting about the police arriving, and Avery hands the camera back to Bird before leaving to check. At the police station, Bird is questioned about Tyler's death and is devastated to learn the news. Back home, she notices the shadow smudge has disappeared from her picture of Tyler but has appeared in Avery's photo. She hesitates to call Avery. Meanwhile, Avery cleans up her house and heads to the basement but hears footsteps upstairs. She returns and encounters a figure before being attacked and killed. The next day, Casey informs Bird of Avery's death. Bird checks the photos and finds the shadow missing from Avery's, now back in the group picture. Angry, she throws the camera, causing a shockwave. At school, Bird shares her theory with her friends, showing them the photos and explaining the shadow's movement after each death. She tells them she thinks they may all be in danger because if the camera takes their picture, they die. The others don't believe her, particularly Devin, who berates Bird for her claims. He takes the group picture and lights it on fire despite their protests. As the picture burns, smoke starts to appear around Mina, and she begins to feel immense pain in her arm, eventually catching fire. Connor tries to extinguish the flames, but it's futile. Bird realizes the connection and puts out the fire on the picture, which seems to stop the harm. At the hospital, they contemplate what happened as they wait for news on Mina's condition. Bird and Connor decide to retrieve the camera case from the antique store. Bird goes in alone as she's safe from being in the picture. She finds the case but is confronted by the creature and almost choked by her scarf caught on a nail. Connor saves her just in time. They realize Bird is in the picture too, faintly seen through a reflection in the window. At the hospital, Mina wakes up to find Devin by her bedside. He goes to get a nurse, leaving Mina alone. Bird calls Mina to warn her, and Devin, still searching for a nurse, notices an open door and goes to check. Mina gets up to call for help, and a nurse finally shows up, telling Devin she'll check on Mina soon. When Devin returns to Mina's room, he finds it empty, with a blood trail on the floor. He follows the trail and discovers Mina hanging. Bird and Connor arrive back at the hospital to find Devin with the police. Devin blames Bird for Mina's death and sends her off crying. Connor follows her to comfort her, and they sit together in a hallway. Bird shares with Connor the night her father died, revealing that he was a reporter who died in a car accident when she was 12. They then dump out the contents of the camera case and find an evidence locker tag hidden inside. They go to the library to research the tag's history and discover articles about a serial killer named Roland Joseph Sable, who used the camera to take pictures of his victims. Roland was shot and killed before he could be arrested. Bird, Connor, Casey, and Devin gather at a restaurant to discuss their next steps. Bird suggests that someone related to her may still live in her old house and know something about the entity. Casey looks it up but says the house was bought by Anne Faraday in 1977. Devin gets impatient and grabs the camera, claiming to want to figure out how it works. He names it Bird. Connor tries to stop him, and they struggle for the camera, resulting in a picture being taken of Devin. The shadow moves from the group photo to the picture of Devin, and the group realizes that each photo changes the order of who dies next. Devin grabs the camera again, claiming he won't be next, and points it at Bird. Just as he is about to take the picture, Casey stabs a pencil through his hand in the photo, causing him to drop the camera. He grunts in pain as a hole appears in his actual hand as well. He tries to attack Casey, but Connor holds him back. A police officer breaks them up, but Devin slaps the officer across the face, landing himself in jail. Connor and Bird try to talk Sheriff Pembroke into letting Devin out, but he refuses. Bird talks to Devin before they leave, and he apologizes, telling them that his being next may buy them time to stop him. Casey calls Bird and informs her that she found out that Anne Faraday, who bought Roland's house, is actually his wife, Lena Sable, using a fake name. Bird and Connor head to Lena's house to find out what she knows. Lena reveals that the camera belonged to their daughter, Rebecca J., and leads them to a bedroom. She tells them that Rebecca got attached to the camera after receiving it as a gift and took it everywhere with her. Lena reveals that Rebecca died by suicide after being bullied for explicit photos taken with the camera. Roland sought revenge on the 4 kids responsible, killing them in the dark room of the school before dying himself. The lights in the room flicker, causing Connor to check the photos. He sees that the entity has moved back to the group picture and tells Bird they need to leave. Bird calls Casey and tells her to meet them at the school because she has an idea of how to fix the situation. They head to the school and search through old yearbooks, matching the survivor's picture Lena gave them to a yearbook photo from 1974. Sheriff Pembroke was the survivor. Speaking of him, Sheriff Pembroke appears with handcuffs, accusing them of breaking and entering. He escorts them toward the exit, and Connor accuses him of following them because he was afraid they will find out the truth. Sheriff Pembroke scoffs, asking if Lena told them that he bullied her daughter until she killed herself. Bird pulls out the camera but can't bring herself to take the picture. Connor takes the camera from her. Pembroke becomes agitated and smacks the camera out of his hands, but not before Connor snaps a picture. Pembroke reveals that Lena lied to them. He says that Rebecca's father was the one who took the photos of her and that his friends and he were trying to get Rebecca away from Roland. They were going to take the pictures to the police, but when Roland found out, he snapped and came after them to protect a secret. Rebecca hung herself because she couldn't live with the guilt of her friend's death. The entity appears and grabs Pembroke's photo from the ground. He rips the picture in half, ripping Pembroke's body in half with it. The 3 friends try to run away, but Casey injures her leg. Connor grabs Pembroke's gun and shoots the entity to distract him while the 2 girls run. The girls hide in a locker room, and Bird turns on all the shower's hot water to protect them. She leaves Casey there to go find Connor. While she is looking for him, Connor pulls her into a room and shows her that the shadow is still in their picture. Bird finally figures out how to stop him, and the 2 go to find the camera. Before they can get it, the entity grabs Connor and drags him away. Bird takes the camera and snaps a picture of herself to save him. The entity shifts its focus to her, and she runs down to the school darkroom. The entity follows her and grabs her by the throat. Bird lifts the camera to its face and takes a picture of the entity with two of her fingers also appearing in the photo. She crumples the picture in her hand, causing the entity to contort and crumble with it, as well as breaking her own two fingers. When that doesn't kill the entity, she sets the picture on fire, killing it once and for all. She meets back up with Connor and Casey, and the three share relief that they are safe. Bird takes the camera and throws it into the ocean, where it can never hurt anyone ever again. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps.